Hi there everyone, I'm Denise and we're at the Green Living Show here on Saturday, April 13th, 2013. And we are here with
Agatha Podgorski of the Ontario Culinary Tourism Alliance.
Okay, and what are you doing here today?
We're putting on the Ontario Culinary Adventure Pavilion, which is a part of the show where you get to eat. So a lot of people are pretty excited about it. We have 10 destinations from across the province, about 30 booths. Chefs, retailers, artisans, we got some wine, beer, cider from across the province doing local food for people to eat.
Very good. And why do you think it's important for people to get connected with local?
There are 1.5 million reasons. Let's talk about the environment for one. Traveling less distance, food is fresher, food is better for you. Let's talk about our culture, our history. Let's create a food identity for Ontario. We've been in the works for a really long time. It's not just maple syrup and poutine. We do grow almost everything there is to eat here, and we want people to know about that. We want people to understand where their food comes from. It's not from a can, it's from the ground. We've got farmers here, we've got chefs here working together, and that's what it's about, right? It's telling the story, it's creating culture, and it's good for the planet and your stomachs. I mean, it's healthier.
Totally agree. I believe that people need to be more connected from where their food is from.
Exactly.
And appreciate the farmers that grow the food here in Ontario. So it's wonderful to see that you're out here at this show. And I mean, how do you feel on a personal level that it has changed you in the way you eat or the way you shop local?
Oh my goodness. Well, I started in journalism school way back when, and I decided that I was tired of telling lies, basically. Should I be saying that on camera? So I went to culinary school and I started learning about food more and more. And on a personal level, I just started meeting farmers and hearing their stories. And I realized that every time I went into that grocery store, I had no idea what was going on before. I had no idea what I was buying. I didn't know that the carrots I was eating were actually made by a man named Anthony who pulled them from the ground near Stratford, Ontario, and worked really hard to do that. And now that I know, I feel like I'm more connected with the food I'm eating.
And more appreciative.
And more appreciative, yeah. And the food when you buy it at a farmer's market that's just been pulled from the ground tastes so much better. It's fresher, it hasn't been sitting in a fridge or freezer for months, and the nutritional value, I feel healthier, I feel better. And I want everybody else to feel that way as well.
Well, I personally, just eating from the show here today, we were talking about how each individual item that was served had its own distinct flavor. It just popped.
Exactly.
You didn't have to embellish it or do anything differently with it because it was local, it was fresh, and you can taste the flavors from it, right?
Exactly.
It just talks for itself.
It's terroir, right? We hear all these stories about Italy and the fantastic flavors of the countryside, and we import all that food, and I don't understand why, because we have those same experiences here. You taste the ground that these things came out of, not that it tastes like dirt, it's not what we mean, but it's this kind of regional flavor that we so rarely talk about in Ontario.
Yeah, and it does wonders to our molecular being, I think, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you are a product of what you eat, and you should be eating foods from your area rather than, let's say, water from Fiji. It just doesn't make sense to me. It needs to be sourced
Exactly.
here.
We have the most water in the whole world in Canada. Why are we not drinking Canadian water?
Yes, I agree. Totally. And I think that the consumers need to be educated and they need to be connected through shows like the Green Living Show.
There you go.
Well, thank you
Did
very
you
much
have
for your
anything?
time.
Did you have